one meal a day or not eating at all, or I would start binge eating. Alright, what is up, you guys? It's your girl Alicia, and we're back doing a quick video because I recently got my package for my protocol. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to a holistic nutritionist to do a live blood cell analysis, but with that I actually did quantum reflex analysis as well, and that was a little bit different from what I'm used to, because what we're learned is to do everything through a NutriBody, which is simply just like going through a whole questionnaire, putting into the symptoms and like scoring it from 1 to 3, 3 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And then once everything is done and you put it all onto the chart, you will see the linings of what's shooting up. It could be hypoglycemia, it could be something like tryptophan or your EFAs, etc. And that gives us a whole picture of how we can get to the root cause in order for us to build your protocol. So this way was a little bit different, which was great because one, I got to see what was happening at a cellular point through a microscope, and then also doing the quantum reflex analysis. That was a little bit different because you want to think of it like a lie detector test or muscle testing. And I was essentially standing on a grounding mat, and so yeah, standing on a grounding mat and putting my fingers together like this, where I have to put all the pressure into holding them together as she tries to pull, and depending on where the pressure point is, where my finger is, that will tell me where the weak points are every time she tries to pull it, and then puts in the supplementation of finding out what and how much the body will need for that area. I probably did not explain that as well, but that's okay. It makes sense to me. But just in the gist of everything that we did that day, I didn't really, I didn't want to film it just because I wanted to be more present in that moment of everything that was happening and everything she was explaining to me. But my next follow-up, which will be in 8 weeks after I'm done this protocol, I will actually do a video and show you guys what we did the second time in the protocol. So going in and doing the live blood cell analysis, essentially this is what your blood cells is supposed to look like. Amazing, right? Everything's spaced out, extra cellular matrix is clear, nothing in the middle of it, there's no parasites, anything. Cool. But when I did mine, this is what it looked like. Not something that I was expecting, to be honest. Personally, I was actually pretty sad just because I was just like, how is this happening to me? And I realized that is playing the victim, and I quickly snapped out of it because honestly, the fact that I was there and I was able to see what was going on meant that I was in the right place at the right time, and this is the time for me to actually start doing what it needs, that my body needs. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, what does that even mean? Why does your blood cells look like that? So essentially, we call this, I'm going to probably pronounce this wrong, but rouleau, R-O-U-L-E-A-U-X. Rouleau, I'm going to call it rouleau. So essentially what that is my red blood cells are clumping. So it's at an advanced stage of linkage, meaning that there's poor nutrient utilization. And this I kind of knew because you can actually tell through a tongue analysis if your teeth are leaving dent marks through your tongue. It means that nutrients aren't actually absorbing properly. So that I was like, okay, this makes sense. And then enzyme deficiency, dehydration, altered zeta potential. So with that, we couldn't really score on like aggravations or any macro or microsites, and all these other ones here. So we couldn't really give myself a protocol for like hitting like what the cell actually really purposely needs. But we were still able to build a protocol, because in this video here, if you see those little stuff moving around, those are parasites. And if you can see little lines through the spacing, so the spacing is the extracellular matrix, and in that spacing, I don't know if you can see it, but you see little lines, and those lines are called fibrin, meaning that there's a lot of stress. That is my liver. So it means my liver and my gallbladder are being overworked. And you're probably like, hey, why and how is this happening? Alicia, you work out, you eat really well, but that wasn't the case all the time, right? So when I was younger, if you guys had watched my first video on getting to know me, I did go through an eating disorder. And that started at the age of 13 all the way until I was probably about like 18, 19. And it started off as bulimia, but then it got into a lot of like body dysmorphia and just overthinking with, okay, well, if I'm 145 pounds, I'm obese, and I didn't want that to happen. So I was either eating one meal a day or not eating at all, or I would start binge eating. And when it came to eating, it wasn't like I was eating the right foods. And as a high performance athlete, that was really bad because I was prone to injuries. Anxiety started to spike up a lot more into my life, even going into my early 20s. And it just became a loophole. But me not knowing or understanding what food was and why I needed food, and food was fuel for the body, I was putting my adrenals under a lot of stress. Nothing was protecting my organs. So I used to grow up and have a lot of pain around my rib cage area, and no one can tell me what was happening. But no one ever asked the right questions in the sense, are you eating, or what are you eating? So now coming to my big age, I essentially now am realizing a lot of the stuff that I did. Even with the drinking, I started drinking when I was really early of age. I don't do that. Started drinking at early age when I was probably about like 17, 18, and it wasn't like drinking here and there or just social call. It was just drinking a lot, to the point I would black out, which was not good. And then I also led into a lot of smoking as well. So when you think about it, you're like, okay, your liver's being stressed out, the adrenals are stressed out, gallbladder, all of this is happening. When I see this on the screen, I'm like, okay, it kind of makes sense. But the unfortunate thing is that we're not able to actually really go a little bit deeper to see what was happening. So, the best thing about it is that we are here now and we're working on the cause. So, I want to take you guys through some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing for my liver, my gallbladder. Oh, and we also went down into like as far back, and this is why I love what I do in terms of protocols and just being a holistic nutritionist and getting to the root cause. We go further back to like my early age, from like, was I breastfed or was I formula fed? Because that had a lot of issue. My main reason to go to this, to do this appointment, was really because I struggled with like constipation, IBS, ever since I was a kid. Again, linking a lot of things together, but I never understood what was happening. And when you think about it, in some cases, me not being breastfed played a role, because the formula that I was probably taking was not sitting well with my stomach. So a lot of things weren't being able to break down properly, and then a lot of stress came around it, and I would not go to the washroom for days, and it still was happening growing up. So now getting to the root cause, finding out what it is that's aggravating me through food, and then as well looking at it at a cellular level, will help me a lot. So let's see here. I'm gonna guess. Okay, so this one right here is, let's see if you can see it. There we go. So this is the black walnut capsules. So this one is going to help with the intestinal, it's going to be an intestinal cleanse. So this is going to help me with the parasites, and I'm going to be taking this 3 times out of the day with breakfast, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 2 capsules. Oh, I did get that one. Okay, so the Collisonia formula, this one is going to be helping with my liver. So I'm going to show you guys here. Collisonia formula. This one is going to be helping with my liver and my bowel. So it has milk thistle, so the liver good, milk thistle, dandelion, witch hazel, parsley, marshmallow. Oh, I didn't even take in all of this was in here. Oh, this is amazing. So there's a lot of herbs, but yeah, this is really good. This is gonna be really good for my liver and actually helping with the bowel movements as well. ADR formula. I'm like dying because I'm like, what did I order? I have the list here, but I don't have 2 things. 2 things haven't come yet, which is okay. I still have to figure out where exactly I'm gonna get it. I think they have it at Healthy Planet. So the ADR. There we go. The ADR formula is going to be helping me for my adrenals. What do we have in this one? So Asian ginseng, root extract. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, but this is going to be helping with the adrenal glands. So helping me really just like get it back to a great state. And the reason why we really focus on the adrenals, in my opinion, is that the adrenals will usually help with the thyroid issues. But this one I am going to be working on my thyroids as well. Oh, this is a big bottle. So this one, the betaine HCl. So the hydrochloride. This is going to be again for my stomach because I have low stomach acid. Again, food is not being broken down properly. So if you're experiencing like acid reflux, belching, and stuff like that, a lot of us do have low stomach acid, meaning that the food's not being broken down properly. Our stomach is very acidic, and when there's low acid, a lot of things can happen. So this is going to be great for that. I've never done the betaine challenge, meaning that you start off with 2 pills, and the most that you want to get to is 8, but you want to see how your body is going to react to it. And wherever your body starts to react, that's where you stop at the certain amount. And then, so say for example, my body reacts to it at 4 tablets, then I would stop at 4. But I am going to be doing 2, 3 times a day, 3 times a day, so 6 altogether. For the Collisonia, this one I'm going to be doing again, same thing, 2, 3 times a day at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then for the ADR one, I am doing 4, so 2 at breakfast, 2 at lunch, not after 4 p.m. because I also have trouble sleeping, and we don't want this interrupting that. Okay. This is a homeopathic, there we go, a homeopathic. So this one I will not be able to have with food. It's highlighted here. So this one I won't be able to have with food, and I have to take it underneath the tongue. I'm going to be doing 30 drops of these, and this one is again going to help me with my adrenals. So really focusing on my adrenals here because they are shot, and we're trying to get them back up and working, so there's not a lot of stress going on to the liver, and helping that with the thyroids. So I have 4 more here, which is for the thyroids. What do I start with? Okay, so 10. This is under 10. It's a homeopathic. So all of these. All of these here, I will be taking all at the same time. So I'll have 5 drops of each, putting it into water. And this is going to be going underneath the tongue, again with homeopathics. You're not going to be having it with food. So this will have, this one and the had, I'll have at the top of the morning. And then for the other 4, I'm going to have them again, and the hat, I just realized, before bedtime. So away from food, probably about 20 minutes before food, or after, but I prefer to do it before. And yeah, I do have 2 more that I have to get. I have to get colostrum and chanca, AOR. So I'm really excited. Another tip that I'm going to be doing is the castor oil pack kit. So I'm going to be putting it underneath the right breast. So packaging it here. So that's going to be helping with the liver and the lower abdominal, which is going to be helping with my intestines as well. So just to help everything moving along. And yeah, so I'm going to be on this protocol for about 8 weeks. And I can't wait to go back and see what happens, because I want my red blood cells looking like this somewhat, or just getting them to space out. That way we can see if there's anything else that's missing in the cells that needs for repairment. So yeah, that is what's happening. So I'm super excited for that. And yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you guys have any questions about the protocol, just comment down below. And if you like this video, please like it, send to a friend. And if you want to learn more about what I do when it comes to holistic nutrition and writing out protocols and understanding how to write out a protocol and looking at the person's body and their symptoms and getting to the root cause, this is the video for you. Not the video, but this is the channel. So yeah, hope you guys like it. Remember, like, subscribe, leave a comment, send to a friend, because we want your friend in the community too. And see you later.